Hello everybody. Let me just decide where I'm gonna nuzzle my phone today. What do you think, Charm? Is that good? Almost. I think we got it good here. Okay. Alrighty. Welcome to Yoga Foundations. I am Dr. Sammy and this is Dr. Charming. She's part of our lovely class. She adds extra obstacles, just like the mind, as well as kisses and occasional knockovers. So perhaps you have a Dr. Charming in your household too. I love mine very much, so she gets to join us for class. All right, so I'm going to slide back a little bit. Let's come to a comfortable seated position. You can relax your hands on top of your knees. Lay down, please. Lay down. Not right now. Not right now. Lay down. Oh, she thinks this is the playtime. Okay. We're going to start with some breath awareness. So breath awareness is just simply exactly what it sounds. It's becoming aware of our breath. The more aware we are of our breath, the less we are aware of what's going on back and forth within our minds. We never turn off the mind, but we turn down the awareness of the mind. So we're going to take 10 full cycles of breath of just awareness, of just simply that. So we're going to go very quiet for a few moments. Okay, awareness of laundry baskets falling off of things, sorry. So just allow yourself to come to whatever your comfortable seated position is. Feel free to close your eyes, it will help you to tune inward. And just begin a self-count of a nice long inhale and a nice long exhale. You might even label these components of the breath. Inhale 1, exhale 1, inhale 2, exhale 2, and so forth. See if you can get a little longer and deeper. Perhaps you've just finished, or are soon to be finished, your 10 breath counts. Our lengths of breath are all a little different, so there can be some variation. And just appreciating the sensations in the body of even just 10 simple breaths. Now we're going to take ourselves into some movement with the breathing. So we're sticking with the inhalations and exhalations. So we'll take our arms out to the side. We're going to inhale, stretch the arms up nice and tall. Pause. Exhale, hands back down to heart center. Let's take that 2 more times. Start to hear your breath. Very nice, bringing that nice overhead reach. We're going to take a little bit more side bending, so we're just going to rest our arms on the side of our hips and just start to walk your arms over so they're still connected with the carpet or the floor. Right hand by the hip, left hand stretching all the way out to the side. Once you feel like you Your fingers are about to lift off, which is probably also the moment the hip is going to lift off. That's the point where you're just going to plant that hand and then let that right arm stretch all the way up towards the sky. So think up, which will help to elongate that right side body. And then perhaps even angle your chest just that little bit more up towards the sky, taking that little bit of a chest opener. Stretch your fingers nice and wide. Pump the fist a few times while you're here. And then take that same right arm and we're just gonna drop the palm down towards the floor, taking a really nice side bend stretch. Rest your chin on your knee or your forehead on your knee, or if that's too far away, that's okay. Just tuck the chin towards the chest. On your next inhale, lift that right arm back all the way up towards the sky. And then drop it down towards the side of your hip. Inch your left fingertips towards your pelvis once again. Just bring the arms forward and inhale, rising them up nice and tall. Pause. Exhale, hands come back down to heart center. Very similarly, we'll just take the other side. So hands start at the hips. Inch your right fingertips out as far as you can until the left feel like they're going to float off of the floor. That's the point in which we'll lift the left arm up straight towards the sky, reaching up, really trying to open up the ribs and the obliques. Let's pump our fists several times, open and close, feeling the blood move into the body. Rotate that chest up towards the sky just a little bit more. Pause. And then stretch those fingers forward as you reach the arm down towards the floor, taking your chin or forehead perhaps to the knee, or just tucking the chin to the chest, resting for a few breaths. Inhale, take that left arm, stretch it forward and back up towards the sky. Pause. And then release the left arm back down towards your hip. Inch the right hand back in towards the side of your pelvis. Bring the arms up. Pause. Exhale, hands to heart center. So we've done some slight rotation as well as side bending in the trunk. So we're going to take a little bit more flexion and extension. Here we'll do this through seated cat-cow today. So hands can rest right on the knees. This is one of the few times I'm going to tell you to actually slouch through the body. So we're going to round through the back. We're going to use the cupping of our hands on our knees to really try and flex the body, tucking the chin towards the chest. And then pull with your strong arms, bringing the belly forward, the chest forward, arching through the spine and lifting that head and neck upward. We're going to inhale as we move up. Exhale as we round down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last one. Inhale, coming forward and up. Exhale, rounding all the way back down. And then pull yourself back up to just a neutral, tall seat, feeling some of the activity in the spine. It should feel warm, a little bit more mobile. So now we're going to take ourselves into some different positions. So let's move the legs around, bringing ourselves into tabletop. And we're going to move into downward facing dog from here. So I'm going to actually turn my body to the side for this. We'll take toes, flip them underneath, push back towards those heels, and then float the knees up so it's easier to lift the legs towards the sky. Separate your feet nice and wide if you like, especially if you have a baby growing in your belly, it might be easier.
or a food baby, you know, that's possible too. Pushing into the mat, tuck the chin towards your chest, take a gaze towards your navel, sway your hips side to side. And then start to bend through the knees, really pushing the tailbone up to the sky. Walk your hands back towards your body so that you come into a forward fold. Let the back of the body just melt towards the mat. Maybe a little bit of side to side sway here feels good. Shift the weight a little bit more into the balls of the feet. Lift your head and neck up, starting to prepare the spine. Drop your bottom down. Keep lifting up through your chest, and then use those strong legs to power up into your standing position. Taking the hands above the head. Pause. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's step those feet out nice and wide. And we're going to just take ourselves down into a right side lunge, just starting to open up that inner left thigh, feeling a nice gentle stretch. Keep your chest nice and open, so we're not rounding through the back here. We want to stay nice and tall. Try and sink a little deeper. And then we're going to push straight back up and drop down towards the other side, letting that right inner thigh get its nice stretch. Going deeper as the body allows. Try and keep the chest neutral and open. See how I was starting to drop down? Not that that's wrong, it's just different than what we're doing right now. And then we'll push back up nice and straight. Stretch your body nice and wide into star pose. Just pausing for a moment here and feeling what that's like to be completely open and extended. Maybe the body allows for just a slight back bend, looking up towards the sky, letting the chest lead the way. Drop your arms down to shoulder height with the palms facing down. Flip the right toes out to the side. Sink into warrior two. You may have to widen your stance or slide the legs outward just a little bit more. Hold this posture for 3 full cycles of breath, trying to reach through those fingertips, keeping the trunk nice and tall. Let's take our right palm, flip it upward. Lift the arm towards the sky, which may just be all that you'd like to do today. That might feel really good. You may also choose to just take a slight back bend, reaching that arm towards the space behind you. This back left arm, try not to prop it on your knee, on the thigh above, the calf below, the waist. This knee doesn't bend that way, so we don't want to put pressure in that direction. Drop that arm, coming back down into warrior two. Drop the left arm down so it rests on top of the right thigh. I shouldn't use the word rest, rather just place. And then lift the left arm up to the sky. This is a side angle lunge. We're going to start with reaching upward. Once we take the arm all the way into an overhead position, then we get this nice long straight line through the body. Woo, that is a deep stretch. I do this pose often, or at least always have, but it's feeling quite different now. So it's amazing how your body changes through the different phases of life. We'll take that left arm all the way back up, coming into warrior two. Now we'll just straighten out through that right leg, dial the toes inward, and we're going to bend through the knees and drop our hands down, just stretching the back of those hamstrings. Let your body come into a fold. Let the upper back completely relax. Bring the body back upright, straight first through the spine. Drop your bottom down, lift with those strong legs. Let's rise back up into star pose. Feeling what that posture is like once again in our body. Round 2. Take your left toes this time and dial them outward, dropping the arms down at shoulder height and sliding into warrior 2 towards the left. Find that last cycle of breath. Flip the left palm up, scoop the sky, take your hand, your right hand either to the hip, the thigh, or below the knee, finding your anchor point. Start by stretching straight up, and then only if it feels comfortable to lean back and really open up that left side body. Make sure to keep that left knee bent. Drop that left arm down, placing it on top of the left thigh. Rise the right arm up first to the sky, and then if it feels good, bringing it straight up and above the head so that you've got a beautiful line from the tip of your right fingers to the outer edge of your right toes. Side angle lunge. Bring your right arm all the way back up, coming into warrior 2. We're going to turn the left toes back in and come back into a fold. Start to lift back up through the chest. We're going to bob down towards that right leg again, just like we did when we were first in standing. So now our hands are on the floor. Slide the left hand a little bit more central. Take the right hand first to the hip and see if you can rotate the elbow towards the sky, taking a little added twist. If that feels good and you want to extend the arm up towards the ceiling, you certainly can, but there's no harm in just keeping it on the hip and letting the elbow lead the way. Lower that right arm back down, and we're just going to walk our arms all the way over towards this right leg. Pivot on the ball of the back leg. Now your arms can be on the inside aspect of the right foot. Go ahead and drop the knee if you feel like it's a lot of work to be up in this position. Otherwise, you can choose to keep it elevated for a little bit more of a challenge. So either way, there's nothing wrong. This is just going to take more of a passive deep gravity stretch. This is just a little bit more active, a little bit more strengthening. So depends on what mode you are in at this time. There's no wrong mode to be in. The mode to be in is what your inner spirit is asking of you. So sometimes we need to push and sometimes we need to dial back. Start to, if your knee was down, go ahead and lift it and then redial back to the split stance. Just pause for a moment in the center, folding back down towards the floor. And then push through the hands to lift the spine up tall again. Walk the, we'll start to bend through the left knee this time, walking the right hand a little bit more central so that you've got that deeper stretch on the right inner thigh. Take the left hand, place it on the hip, and if it feels good, start to rotate the trunk up so that the elbow leads the way. Maybe taking the arm up to the sky. We're just leaving it on the hip for now. And then go ahead and release your twist, but walk your hands over towards the left leg, this time dialing the leg back into a straight position, perhaps dropping that knee, feeling that nice hip flexor open regardless of the mode that you've chosen to open it with. Start to lift the knee if it's dropped and start to dial the toes back in, coming back into a split stance. Take a fold. For those of you needing to perhaps modify, if you do have something growing inside your tummy, you may need to grab a little cushion for some assistance. Otherwise, we're going to start to heel toe our feet in towards our downward facing dog and start to shift our weight forward into a plank. Let's just pause for a moment on that plank. And then we're going to lower our bodies down, so feel free to drop the knees. I'm dropping mine onto a bolster and uncurling the toes. We're going to drop our body down towards the mat or towards the carpet and then push back up, so that this time we're not in a push-up position, but we're in an upward facing dog. So I'm just going to turn my body a little bit here. So the bolster just makes it a little bit easier for me to have space for my tummy. Otherwise, your legs would just be resting on the ground. Try and let the shoulders retract back and down and allow for the spine to extend. Reach tall through the spine. And then we're going to push, knees can come back, well, your knees are already down, but push back into your tabletop, and we're going to take a child's pose. So your child's pose can be knees closer, knees wide. Drop your forehead down and take 5 cycles of breath here. Connecting with the breath again and feeling the ease and the comfort that may be present in your body now. Start to take your arms and place them back underneath the body to help ease your rise to tabletop, bringing the knees back underneath the hips if they were splayed. Let's take 3 cat-cow from here. Inhale, drop the tummy, lift the chest. Exhale, round through the back, tuck the chin towards the chest. Inhale, drop the chest, lift the head and neck. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Release back to a neutral spine. We're going to take ourselves down onto the side body. Let me just check in with time. 24 minutes. Perfect. So you can use your forearms or whatever. We're going to coach our body down to the side. However you'd like to cradle your head with your arm, or if you do have a cushion, you can certainly support your head in that position. The top leg, we're just going to do one more deep quad stretch. So if you can't grab your ankle and foot, that's okay. You can use a strap or a belt to help bridge the connection. But grab hold of either the top of the foot or the ankle and pull that leg back so that the heel comes closer to the buttocks, but not just so that the heel is at the buttocks, but that the knee is coming back in line with the trunk. So we want to open up the front of the hip there.
And let the shoulder become open. So this is a really nice extension stretch. Really good for opening up the front body and releasing tension in the quads and the hip flexors. Getting a little bit of lower back compression, which is healthy for the spine. And just breathe a couple times here. Awareness of your breath. Very good. Release your grip, but take that leg and bring it all the way forward and drop it down against the floor, mat, whatever you're on. The other leg you can straighten it out nice and long. And just take your right shoulder and open it up towards the ceiling. Maybe the arm comes all the way out into a T or a goalpost. You don't even have to take it that deeply if this feels good for you. Releasing things out of your body via either end of the spectrum. Sometimes that can happen when you're twisting. Wringing out toxins, wringing out pockets of air bubbles. And then relax your trunk back towards neutral. We're gonna go ahead and take the other side for you guys. You may just choose to roll. I'm gonna do a roll and a spin so that I'm visible. So again, feeling free to rest the head and neck on your arm or on a cushion of some sort, taking contact of that top ankle and foot, or using the assistance of a strap or a belt, not just pulling the heel towards the buttocks, but pulling the thigh back in line with the trunk and torso. Let your shoulder become open, so letting that chest start to get a nice little stretch. Breathe several times, the awareness of your breath, feeling the movement in and out of the lungs. We'll take that, whichever leg you've got. I've got my left side. If you were doing the same side as me, then take that leg and bring it forward and then drop it down onto the floor. Take the other leg and straighten it out, and just let the left shoulder this time begin to twist open. Whether you want to just rotate the trunk, you want to take the arm all the way out into a T or a goalpost, whatever feels good for you at this time. Go ahead and untwist the body, coming back to that side lying position. And at this point, if you like being on your side, maybe you stay right here, stacking the legs or splaying them, whatever position feels comfortable, keeping the head nice and cozy. You can also choose to just roll onto your back, taking your Shavasana positioning with the legs out straight. The legs can also be bent. They can be knock-kneed, or you can go sole to sole, allowing those inner thighs to become nice and open. Whatever position allows you to be comfortable. This is your time for continued connection with your breath, but this time the physical body is a lot more open. A lot more open to receive the gifts of the universe. Breathe in the abundance. Breathe out anything that you need to let go, anything that's disrupting the ease and the flow of your life. Continue to stay in this state of Shavasana or in an active meditative state for as long as your practice is guiding you. The light and honor in me respects and honors the light in all of you. Thank you for being here with me, either in the morning or the evening, depending on when you chose to practice today. Always my honor. Namaste.